We are told that education is meant to enlighten us, to open minds, to create free thinkers.
But what if that story is the first lesson we were trained not to question? Because when you look closely, education does not prepare people to think freely. It prepares them to behave safely. Safely for systems. Safely for power. Safely for those who already sit at the top. And this is not an accident. From childhood, we are promised something beautiful. Study hard, and you will be free. Learn the rules, and you will succeed. Follow the path, and your future will be secure. Classrooms are painted as gateways to truth, teachers as guides, diplomas as keys. But notice something important. The questions that truly disturb the system are never on the exam. You are taught what to think, rarely how to think. And almost never why. Real education should be dangerous. It should unsettle you. It should force you to confront power, tradition, and authority. Instead, modern education rewards silence, obedience, and repetition. Sit down. Listen, memorize, repeat. Creativity is tolerated only when it stays harmless.
Critical thinking is praised as long as that doesn't point upward. Because a population that questions deeply cannot be managed easily. Education is often described as a ladder. But ladders only matter when someone controls where they are placed. The system does not aim to awaken individuals who might disrupt profit, hierarchy, or control. It aims to produce reliable workers, predictable citizens, people trained to function, not to challenge. Not rebels, but participants. Not thinkers, but operators. And above all, not free minds, but calm ones. This is why education often feels exhausting but empty. Busy but hollow. Full of information, yet starved of meaning. It keeps people occupied, distracted, convinced they are progressing, while never being taught where the road truly leads. A population that is tired, indebted, and obedient does not revolt. It complies. And compliance is far more profitable than enlightenment. So the question is not, why are people uneducated? The real question is, what would happen if they truly were?
What's taskless?
Because a fully awakened mind
Witches.
does not fit neatly into systems built on control. And that is exactly what the classroom was designed to prevent. Real education would not begin with answers. It would begin with doubt.
Houses child.
It would not train people to fit into the world as it is,
Orange. But juice.
but to question why it was built this way in the first place. Real education would teach how power operates, how narratives are shaped, how fear is manufactured, how consent is engineered, and most importantly, how to say no. A truly educated person would learn how to detect manipulation, how to read between headlines, how to recognize when language is used to hide violence, not describe it. They would study history,
Yes.
not as a list of dates,
The tool when the want Vikings.
but as a pattern of control repeating itself,
What's new users?
with new names and new uniforms. They would learn economics,
Killers. And fleas.
not to become obedient consumers,
Pure obedience.
but to understand who benefits from their obedience. That kind of education does not produce compliance. It produces awareness. And awareness is dangerous. Because a person who understands power cannot be easily intimidated by it. A person who understands systems cannot be easily distracted by symbols. A person who understands themselves cannot be easily controlled by fear. This is why real education is always labeled radical, disruptive, unrealistic, too idealistic.
Corpse.
Not because it fails, but because it works. But because it works. True education would come with a price. It would isolate you. It would isolate you. It would make conversations uncomfortable. It would force you to stand alone.
Rules.
In rooms where silence is rewarded. You would feel tension others call normal. You would notice injustice where others see routine. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. That is why most systems fear awakening more than rebellion. No system willingly creates the minds that can dismantle it. You cannot expect institutions built on hierarchy to teach people how hierarchy works. You cannot expect power to fund its own exposure. Fragmented. Left for individuals to discover alone. not in classrooms,
I can watch the voice in that.
but in books that are never assigned. In moments of discomfort, people are taught to avoid. Real education does not make you useful, it makes you free. And freedom is the one outcome the system cannot afford at scale. So if you ever felt that school made you quieter, not wiser,
Right.
obedient, not awakened, that was not failure. That was the design. They taught you what to memorize. They taught you what to repeat. They taught you how to fit. But they never taught you how to choose. Because choice creates responsibility, and freedom cannot be standardized. So real education was never taken from you. It was never offered.
And the moment you begin to question, to read beyond permission, to think without approval,
Right.
That is the moment your education actually begins.